Alright, so you clicked on the video, we're on this channel. I don't think you need any heavy backstory here, so let's just jump right into it. I've been listening to Kevin Abstract's new album Arizona Baby non-stop, and here is my track-by-track review.
Big wheels on top, my heart rate don't stop you. Might as well call the cops.
We start the album off with Big Wheels, and like all Brockhampton albums and Kevin's previous solo project, this introductory track is one of the best songs on the whole project. Something I'll be going into deeper as the video progresses is my sort of cloudy opinion on Kevin's rapping. In this case, however, this is probably his best rapping verse on the album. There's a lot of emotion shown, his flow is focused and on point the whole time, and the lyrics are so good. He kept tweeting about how personal this project was for him, and it shows within these lyrics. Everything from the people in his hometown thinking he's exaggerating his sexual preferences to him aggressively expressing those preferences a few lines later. I can't emphasize enough how cool it is that Kevin continues to normalize rap lyrics about being gay in a genre that's known for its homophobia. In general, just a really great opening track to the album. He brings a ton of energy, clever, emotionally backed lyrics. The instrumental sets the tone for a lot of the jazzier stuff that will come after it, and it's definitely a high point for the project as a whole. With Joyride, we get one of those seamless, gorgeous transitions that Kevin referred to on Twitter. For me, this instrumental is one of the most memorable things on this project. Those horns are addictive, you can definitely infer the Outkast influences there, and this is yet another solid track for Kevin rapping. Verse 2, which starts with this, is what I would call the standout moment on the song. Similarly to the verse on Big Wheels, Kevin just seems hungry and willing to go the extra mile to deliver something that's both important and impressive. The structure of the song is interesting too. Everything seems to build more and more until we get a little bit of a breakdown in verse 3 with some glossy vocal effects on Kevin's voice. At first I thought the hook was a little annoying, but it's been growing on me over time. Overall, a solid track discussing the downsides to fame at a young age and the significance of his relationship.
I got Georgia on my mind, ain't nobody left behind, it's just me, my team,
Georgia is the next song, and this is where I start to feel heavier pros and cons. This is a perfect time for me to discuss my opinion on the hierarchy of Kevin's skills as a musician. If I surveyed 100 Brockhampton fans and asked them what they love about Kevin's music, I think there would be a consensus. What Kevin really succeeds at is creating these memorable, stuck-in-your-head all-day hooks and choruses. What feels more hit or miss for me are his rapping verses. Now, this may seem like a weird time to point this out because so far we have a song that features one great rapping verse and no hooks or choruses, and then another song where I don't like the chorus very much, but I do like the rapping verses. But those are kind of outliers on this project for me. Starting with Georgia, and we'll get it a few more times on the project, I love the chorus. The pitch-changed vocals work, and the thing is an earworm. But the verses are fine. Not bad, just a little bit more plain flows, sort of clunky from time to time. The good thing, though, is that this project features some of Kevin's most emotionally charged writing to date, so even boring-sounding verses are often saved by the lyrical content.
I wonder if Amir think about me, or what he think about me. See when I think about me.
Corpus Christi is a song that I have an odd relationship with. I don't really like how any of it sounds, but I think it still holds a definite important place on the album. This is where impressive flows and catchy hooks aren't really there, but like I keep saying, the lyrics are intense and powerful. When this project has come and gone, and if I'm ever thinking about the most memorable songs from the album, Corpus Christi will be there. Not because I like it as a song, more so that it's just wild to hear a page from Kevin's diary in audio form, because that's what it feels like. He's a man with plenty to say, and I'll want to experience those dark thoughts from time to time. Songs can function in different ways, and that's great. This just isn't a track that I'll want to listen to all the time going forward. Next up we have Baby Boy, and wow. Hearing this for the first time was a magical experience. I've been one of the many Brockhampton fans begging for a full version of the Let's Get Married snippet, and here we finally are. It's a really beautiful song. The verses are more talk sung than rapped, and I do prefer that for Kevin. I sound like a broken record, but the lyrics really hit home. Shout out to Ryan Beatty on the long-awaited chorus. The bridge is classic Kevin, and it's remarkable that he was able to map this song out after that chorus had become this sought-after cult idea within Brockhampton's fandom. For a while, I thought this was going to be far and away the best song on the album, but we'll get there soon. Mississippi is next up, and that's one that has definitely grown on me as I listen to it more and more. My reasoning for this is that I don't really think I gave it much of a chance at first. Maybe I'm alone here, but Mississippi reminds me a lot of some of the less popular songs on Saturation 1, and the songs that I'm thinking of are some of my least favorite songs on the whole trilogy. So when I heard this generally airy, melancholy sound, Kevin's tone when he says, it just made me think of some of my least favorite Brockhampton songs. But the more I listen, the more I think that this song feels like an evolved version of those tracks. Like what those songs would sound like if they were a little bit more thought out and more developed. I don't love it, I don't hate it, kind of indifferent, but it's growing on me every day.
Big skies out in Corpus, them lights are so gorgeous. In the garage, I made a fortune.
Use Me is one of the most fascinating songs on the project production-wise. I haven't talked about this aspect all that much, but the instrumentals on this album are a high point for me. They never stick out in a bad way, and this one specifically has a lot going on, but it does flow together very nicely. The structure of the song is just a verse, bridge, and chorus, all of which I think are pretty decent. I like the verse, but as it goes with my consensus, I do like the chorus a little bit more. It just feels like he's more comfortable delivering the latter. Anyways, solid song, kind of underwhelmed, but it's cool.
I'll be your baby doll, your bodyguard if you...
Here we are. This is the best song on the album. While I don't think Baby Boy is too far off, Peach is just ridiculous. First and foremost, I never knew how much I needed Dominic Fike, Joba, and Bareface to go back to back to back on a song. All of them give outstanding performances here. I think if I heard Kevin's verses on this song without those three, I'd be a little bit harsher, but within the context of this track, with that mellow instrumental, with the ultra sweet pre-chorus and chorus, Kevin's verses definitely do enough. Sometimes on this album, there's a lack of energy within his rapping that feels like a turnoff, but on this song, which is as calm and relaxing as can be, his approach to his verses feels smooth and cool. It's definitely one of the best summer songs I've ever heard. They really captured a specific, one-of-a-kind, dreamy feeling here, and I love it so much. If this isn't evidence enough for how talented Dominic Fike is, I don't know what to tell you. P.S. I want to live in that music video.
Going to his concerts, no mask, singing every word. I think it's kinda crazy how my life panned out.
American Problem is a weird little song. Kinda starts out as a fever dream, and as we go deeper into it, things start to become more normal. This and the instrumental from Use Me are probably the most unique points on the project production-wise. With a stranger and more energetic sound, Kevin does follow suit pretty well within his verses. They all have their own unique dramatized styles, but the last one really sticks out. He talks about his dreams, going to a Tyler show a few years back, and back to his inner demons, specifically his hometown, and how he thinks other people were judging him for being gay. Good, unique song, probably in the middle tier of the tracks for me. Crumble is a song that defines how I feel about this album in a lot of ways. The features are great, I love Dominic Fike's intro, Jack Antonoff's chorus is cool, and Ryan Beatty sounds great too. I prefer the intro, chorus, and bridge to the verses because, again, Kevin sounds a little awkward with his flows and whatnot. The lyrics are as good as ever. Again, every track on this album has a ton of meaning behind it. Kevin's rapping just feels hit or miss for me. Regardless, I do like the song overall. The moment that really tips me over the edge for possibly even loving it is when the drums kick in for Jack Antonoff's outro. That part makes everything come alive, it sounds inspirational, and that moment would be so sick in concert.
Boy, you're in the military, that you can see. Parking lot of HEB.
Last but not least, we have Boyer, and this is another one that flips the script on my thoughts on Kevin's rapping. For me, the chorus is a little bit annoying, but each and every verse, Kevin sounds great. The album closes out with a pretty hard-hitting song and instrumental, and that's fascinating to me, because that's how we started the project too. But when I think of the general tone of this album, I think more about what's in between these harder tracks. In my head, Arizona Baby is often either dark and melancholy, but not too aggressive like Corpus Christi, or it's calm and sweet like on Peach. I don't know why, but when these more aggressive tracks come in, they shock me a little bit every time. With that being said, Boyer is fine to me. I think the most interesting part about it is how smoothly it transitions back to the first song on the album. That transition has definitely made me re-listen to the whole project right after finishing it more than a few times. Overall, it may seem like I had a negative opinion on this project because I was nitpicking a lot, but I think that just comes down to this being a solo project. It's strange hearing just Kevin after listening to 4 consecutive Brockhampton albums, so when there's something that I don't love, it seems a lot easier to place the blame on one person. With the amount of rapping verses that are on this thing, I'm honestly more impressed than I am disappointed. Kevin does mostly hooks and choruses for Brockhampton, so I didn't fully expect him to bring as many great verses on this album as he did. That being said, you obviously heard that my main complaint with this thing would probably be those lackluster verses that did show up. Everything is written incredibly well, all the emotion is there in the words. It might be the most emotionally charged album out of any of these projects. I just wish it would have shown a little bit more in his voice, in his delivery. Maybe some more dynamic flows in there too. I thought the production on the project was great, so shout out to Ramil, Jack Antonoff, Jabari, etc. All the features were well chosen, all of those performances were fantastic, specifically Dominic Fike. That kid is something else. I don't think there's a single song on here that I really dislike, and the ones that I haven't loved seem to have grown on me with each listen. Favorite tracks are definitely Peach, then Baby Boy, Georgia, and Big Wheels. Corpus Christi has really made me think a lot about how each and every song contributes to an album, whether positive or negative, in its own unique way. So that's interesting. Right now, I'd say that I like this album. I don't love it. There are a few really high points, and then a lot of stuff that I'm pretty indifferent to. If Kevin gets to a point where the quality of his verses match the quality of his hooks, then I think that's when he makes his masterpiece. I'm excited to hear more from Kevin Abstract going forward. He obviously has a monumental future ahead of him, and I can't wait to see how he grows from this project. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Hey, thank you for watching that video. I know there's going to be some comments about how dead I sound and how dull my voice is, but I recorded this when I was getting over a cold, so whatever. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at WrenchOutHS, buy my merch, support my Patreon, and I'll see you soon.